Well, so we have to turn attention to business. Sandra, what do we have?
Yes, we've been talking about 1D, 1F. We want to get more businesses, but again, factories. We are being told that factories are collapsing or nearing collapsing. Yesterday we spoke about the manganese company.
Definitely.
That are calling for some work to be done to prevent them from collapsing, but Aloex is also facing the same problem.
Wow.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that in business.
Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Sandra Esinamapen. As always, I'm here for business. State-owned aluminium melting company Aloex is said to be at the verge of collapse. This is because goods earmarked for transit into neighboring Burkina Faso and Togo find their way into the local market at cheaper rates. Managing Director of Aloex, Kwesi Oko, has therefore petitioned the Ghana International Trade Commission to place a counter tariff on cheap aluminum imports to save the company from collapse.
Aloex is alleging that the importation of subsidized aluminium to Ghana is competing unfairly with locally manufactured products. The situation has resulted in a significant reduction of its production capacity from more than 1,000 metric tons per month to less than 100 tons. According to the company, the situation is reducing employment levels. Here is the managing director, Kwesi Oko, lamenting to Joy Business.
Far lower than our price, which means that any businessman who, as I showed you, he's getting our price, why would he buy from us? And they're killing us. Yeah. So we have to complain.
But some think you are not competitive enough.
How do you be competitive if somebody is selling below you and you can't sell? If you produce and you're sitting there, nobody's buying it, are you competitive or not? The price they are selling at is below us. What is competition again? They are below us.
But beyond that, there are challenges to the company, like Dr. Asaria J indicated.
Don't mind Dr. Asaria J. He's a bit confused. He used to work for me. He was a factory hand or something. He has no idea what he's talking about. A factory runs on turnover and cash flow. Yes? So you get metal or whatever it is you're going to do, you produce, you sell, you get money, you do the cycle again. You understand? If you do it and the money doesn't come, what do you do?
He further accused the managing director of Asatech Limited, who is also the former president of the Association of Ghana Industries, Dr. James Asaria J., of also indulging in the nefarious activity.
Mr. Asaria J. trying to influence the GITC because he is an importer. He's using the rebate he's getting from China to destabilize Togo and Benin. He's making a lot of money. My customers in Benin tell me, oh, Asatech has come and sold me at this price. My customer in Togo says, oh, Asatech has been here. He sold me at this price. That's impossible price. So I know if GITC gives a ruling, it will spoil that business. That's the motivation. That's the motivation. And I wasn't going to say anything, but because he went on to town, I decided to expose him.
Executive Secretary of the Ghana International Trade Commission, Frank Ajekum, says the commission, after receiving the petition, will make a recommendation to government.
You know, if it's in case of dumping, in fact, if you realize that within a certain period of time, a certain product has been dumped overly, you know, is imported overly into Ghana, you want to ask why, which makes our products uncompetitive, then the government will want to raise a quota and say that, look, from now to go, we can only accommodate so much from this quota. So all these things, as I said, are going to WTO regulations, which all countries have signed up to, and which we are only taking advantage of, as other countries have done, bigger countries, smaller countries. And so we are also beginning to take advantage of that. It only tells you that this government wants Ghanaians to be respected, Ghana to be treated as a country, a sovereign country, in its own right. We just don't take us for granted, you know, because if you are coming to do business with us, you have to obey our laws.
The Ghana International Trade Commission is an internal body that adjudicates on the rules and regulations of the World Trade Organization.
Some serious allegations being made there. We'll be following the story closely and bring you an update in our subsequent bulletins. In other stories now, mechanized farming has been described as the best way to transform Ghana's agricultural sector. Despite this, the country is yet to take advantage of this method of farming, with investors ready to explore avenues in the agricultural sector at the 2020 Agritech West African Summit in Accra. Convener of the event, Thomas James, has been outlining to Joy Business how best Ghana can compete with other emerging economies like Kenya and Rwanda for high agric volumes. There's more in the following report.
Over 40 investors across the world are expected in Ghana to explore opportunities in the agri sector. This was made known at the media launch of the Agritech West Africa 2020 conference in Accra, where stakeholders in Ghana's agri sector have been urged to introduce some innovative policies to stay competitive. Dominic Oduro-Enchu is president of the Ghana Indian Trade Advisory Chamber.
We need to step up our game. I mean, for instance, we still use cutlass in weeding, go to the farms. We have to be able to have a technology where something can replace something like even a cutlass. And we should also let the farmers see, benefit properly, not just, taking produce from them and we give them something little. Ghana needs to move from the state in the agri sector to a higher state. You talk about Kenya, you talk about Rwanda. Sometimes you have to move from your comfort zone. And as we say, a change is difficult, but it brings progress. So Ghana needs to step up its game. We believe that our targets will be met, and then our objective will also be realized. One, we need to be able to step up. Whatever we started today, we're going to keep it up till June, and then it's not just for this year. Next year, we have something else coming in.
Meanwhile, Director of Agritech West Africa, Thomas James, has called for some policy framework to facelift Ghana's mechanized farming practices.
What change or innovation that has to be brought in is that sourcing of agro-mechanization for agro-mechanization employment in the agriculture practices. For that, the government can definitely make some efforts like encouraging more of agro-mechanization at the farmer level, having a local government support atmosphere being arranged so that more of the farmers, whether it be subsistence farming or for the contract farming or plantation type farming, more of agro-mechanization and agrochemicals can be used at a sustainable level so that the agro production can be enhanced in a proper way, having with the momentum. In countries like India or Africa, in India and even in Europe and America, so what the governments have experimented is giving subsidy directly to the farmers for their sourcing of machineries or agro requirements, etc. So that is something that you can have it here in Ghana also, and even they can source it directly from the producers of agri-technology, and then they can distribute it to the farmers.
Experts say rising food demand requires innovation in agriculture practice, hence the need to be innovative. Agriculture contributes 20% of Ghana's GDP. So far, Ghana has 5 agroeconomic regions allowing for dynamic agriculture. To this end, the Agritech Expo is connected and aim to establish partnership with business counterparts in Ghana and in neighboring countries.
Businesses in the Ashanti region are exploring ways to take advantage of Africa's continental free trade agreements. The agreement is scheduled to begin next year. Founder and corporate vision consultant Charles Appiah says because the agreement would thrive on production, local businesses must channel their energy into production. Chris Appiah has more from Kumasi.
The business community in Ashanti region have begun engaging among themselves on how to explore ways to increase their production and leverage on the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement Secretariat been established in Ghana. At the 3rd edition of the Ashanti Business Executive Cocktail event, founder of Corporate Vision Consult Charles Appiah explained the need for this move.
To find solutions to some of these things and see how best typical businesses in Kumasi will take a new turn and be productive and be relevant to the economy and economic growth so far as Ghana is concerned. When you brand what we do well, it attracts foreign investment. People want to put their money in it. So basically it's about people appreciating that to be internationally acceptable as a business person, one, you should learn how to market your products.
The annual event by Corporate Visions Consult is under the theme Rebranding Ashanti Region as the Hub of Industrial Transformation. Charles Appiah is positive it will set the tone for investment opportunities to be explored in the region.
So we want to adapt new best business practices. And when that is done, it embodies you as a business person to know where your strengths are, where your weaknesses are, the opportunities are available, the threat that also your business exposes to your business. If you're able to do that, you know what measures you can take to mitigate and take advantage of the opportunity. So Ashanti region is the best place to do business.
That's all for the first part of business. I am Sandra Esenamafen. After 8 p.m., I'll be back with more business news.